Okay.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Welcome to the second episode of our podcast, Azima the Storyteller. Tonight, Azima is going to talk about the famous Oregon ranch. I can never say it right, but Puram. Actually, correct me, please, Azima. What's the right pronunciation?
Rajneesh Puram. Puram means
Rajneesh Puram.
yes, means
That's the
city of Rajneesh.
The city of Rajneesh. Rajneesh was the first name of Osho.
Yeah.
Probably everybody knows. Yes. So the super famous commune that I think that's what most people know, because a lot of things happened in this place, very controversial. And Azima lived there for the entire time, very close to
all
Osho.
the time, but it was on and off.
The entire time, yes. But he's gonna tell us the entire story now, so I can't wait. So Azima, please tell us all about how did it all start? How did you end up there?
Oh, okay. I ended up in America after Pune 1, the first commune was over in 81. I went with my girlfriend at the time, a Swiss lady. We went to Switzerland, and she was from Lausanne. She's still alive. Her name is Barbara. And I used to go in Geneva with a friend of mine because a Canadian guy called Mark, we were good friends, and we left India together. And in Geneva, there was a meditation center, Osho Meditation Center. Me and Mark, we went there, and the guy was doing absolutely nothing. He was not running meditation, was doing nothing. So we were full of energy, and we say, "You are not able to run the center. Get out." and we paint everything, and we start to give meditations. And then Garimo, one of the women who was in charge of the foundation, came to Geneva and say, "Okay, you run the center, but you are a man, so you don't run. Your girlfriends run the center. You surrender to your girlfriend." So we ran the center for almost 1 year. And then they called us from America. We didn't know anything. What was for many months we didn't know where Osho was. Nobody knew where Osho was. Very few people. So they called me from America, say, "We have this ranch. You are a center leader in Geneva. Come here and stay with us." So we closed the center. We went to America. It was, I think, end of 82. For me, was very. I never really like to go in America, but the master was there, and so I went. And I remember this long trip from Portland with the bus towards the ranch Rajneesh, many hours. And I was looking at the window and I was seeing all the collective unconscious of the Americans, which was money basically. And, and I saw how poor was America. I thought America was very rich, but I realized that if you travel to in America, on the Middle West, Middle East, and people are living very under a roulotte, a small village with wooden house, and to me, it felt everything was precarious, was unstable. And coming from a country, Italy, which is, 2,000 years old, and everything for me was strange. And so I felt uncomfortable. And we arrived on the top of this hill, and there was this huge property. I never saw how big it was. It was 64,000 acres or something like this. I have no idea how many hectares. I never saw the limits. It was so big. I immediately realized that that place was not really for me because I'm not a kind of I'm more intellectual. You know, I'm a doctor. I'm writing, so you see my hands very gentle, and I see this guy with the hat like this. I put the hat because we talk about the range, by the way, and everybody with the hats with boots and you know digging ditch and exploding mountain. We were putting dynamite in the mountains to explode mountain and making route. It was very wild. I mean, the energy was very intense for for a good macho man, you know, which I'm not. I'm not a macho man. I always had macho man. But everybody was a macho man with this big hat, and you know. But I stayed there. Of course, it was beautiful because I made many old friends, and Osho was there, which was in his house. So we did not see him the first years. I think for 1 year or two, I don't remember now the date.
So do you think there's a particular reason why he was hiding, or it was just a coincidence?
No. Nothing was coincidence for Osho. When you are with the Buddha, nothing is a coincidence. Osho's body was very tired. You have to think Osho started to talk in 1960. He was very strong, and he was going around India the whole time. He had no house. He was living in the train, going from one city to another city, give conference to 50,000 people, 60,000 people, giving conference on the universities. You know, he puts a lot of energy on. Then in Pulawan, he started to become a little bit gray, and he had his body had a crisis, and he was very tired. He told that he need some time to rest, and of course there was not much need for him to give a discourse because we had to build the city. So we were working 24 hours a day with a shift of, I don't remember, maybe 12 hours or 10 hours each. So the whole energy went into material, you know, material, the earth, building, constructions, making routes, make airports. I mean, what we did, I didn't do much, but at the beginning I built houses, you know, toilets in the street. So I became carpenter and started to cut wood and build the hut houses, which were maybe 1.5 meter for 2 meter. And we were putting these hut houses all over the street so people can pee and toilets.
That's so cool. So that's all you did the entire time, or did you?
Yes, at that time, that's all I did. The whole day.
Because most people who know you, they know you are a medical doctor or homeopathic doctor. But could you do any of that over there?
No. I was known as a cook because in the first commune I was cooking, so I was not a doctor. They know me as a cook, but they need a carpenter, so I went to do this carpentry. It was a very long, faraway valley. There were many small valley. You need to go there with the truck and with the bus, and they drop you, you know, with other 10 people in this small valley, and everybody is doing his job. And then they take you with the bus. They bring people to eat in the tent. At that time, there was a tent to sleep. So I was sleeping in the tent, like camping. And in the night, it was very cold. It's a desert which goes in Oregon.
Yeah.
In the day, very hot, and in the night, very cold. I remember I used 2 or 3 sleeping bags to sleep. It was very, as the Americans say, fucking cold, man.
I know that. I'm in Southern California, but at night, like it's night now for me, I always wear a hat. It's not coincidental.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
gets pretty cold at night in the desert type of climate. So yeah,
So in the
I can
beginning,
understand.
I did this for 3, 4 months, and then they called me in the office, and you come, and they say, "Oh, Azima, you are a doctor." I say, "Yes, I'm a doctor." We need money. It's better if you go back to Europe, be a doctor again, and make money, and you send money to us.
Oh, wow.
I say, well, I prefer to stay here, actually. And they say, oh, wow, you don't understand. You had to get out, man.
We're kicking you out.
So that was the first time they kicked me out. Man, 2 or 3 times they kicked me out. So I went back to Switzerland and started to be a pediatrician at the hospital in Locarno in Switzerland. But the range for me was really, as I said before, it never suited me in my skin. It was
Yeah,
I never believed that we're going to stay there the rest of our life. I was sure we're going to stay there long time, but many Americans came, and there were many people, also Italian, German. Everybody thought that we're going to stay there. That was, the commune. What I missed in the range was the meditation part, which was in Pune 1. It was clearly, Sheila say also in the Wild Wild Country, the Netflix movie, she say clearly, I didn't care about meditation. I had to build a city, so the whole energy was into construction, not in meditation. But that's why I didn't feel at home there. I felt at home in India. That was my home.
right. I can see that.
Yeah.
But maybe there was also some type of meditation into the work. Because sometimes also myself, I hear a lot of friends say, I do all these meditations, this type of meditation, that type of meditations. And I find myself during the day, I don't have time to meditate because I'm so busy. So I try to get whatever I do into a meditation. So I wonder if Osho was thinking the same, that
Of
the
course,
work
yeah, of
itself
course.
was a meditation,
Everything,
maybe.
everything is a meditation, but there is a
Right.
big mistake. You see, mind is very tricky. Mind is amazing tricky.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a conditioned mind, conditioned by the society we live, by the family we've been, by the school. Uh, this conditioned mind always is in action, produce thoughts continuously. Okay, so a meditation technique are been, you know, since 10,000 years, maybe more, I don't know, in order to contact that space which is out of the mind, which is a space where there is no production of thoughts. There is silence, there is a connection with existence, okay? So in order to get out of this mind, we need to do some technique, okay? Once you are uh, there often and you know how to stop the mind and go in the non-mind, okay, then when you are in the non-mind, whatever you do is a meditation. So many people say, oh yes, I work in the office, but I work in a meditative space. That's a tricky way of fooling ourselves. Uh, because that's the end of the story. When you do everything, and everything you do is a meditation space, okay? So, but you cannot jump to the head. You have to work on in order to reach the head.
Right. So you don't think, I forgot if it was Tilopa, because I read, the book I said the other time in the previous podcast, the first book I read from Osho was Tantra, the Supreme Understanding.
Beautiful.
And there's a Song of Mahamudra, and he talks about Tilopa, or Tilopa.
Yeah.
And I think he reached, if I don't confuse, he reached enlightenment beating sesame seeds all day. He was just, it's a classic also Buddhist thing that you all day do like a very repetitive work, like he was beating the sesame seeds.
Yeah.
Something really boring,
Also,
but doing that all day, in the end, he reached enlightenment. So I think there's something there. So it depends on the job also you do. If you do something really repetitive.
But you have to think first, we are talking about 1,200, I mean, 7, 8 centuries ago, where the mind was not so active, even 100 years ago, the mind was not so frantic, The mind of the collective unconscious today is so active, so frantic, people are so anxious, So 1,000 years ago was not like this. People were very quiet and living in nature in silence. So there was already a space of meditation. And also Tilopa was a Buddhist, and he was doing practice. Of course, when you get enlightenment, like there is a beautiful woman which got enlightenment when she was carrying a water in a little tank, and this tank collapsed, and the water spilled everywhere. But there was a full moon night, and she was looking at this bucket, the reflection of the moon. And when the bucket broke, and the moon disappeared, of course, and in that moment, her ego disappeared. But these are experiences which is not that you are programming or you say, I smash seeds so I can get enlightenment.
And also, we live in the world of 5G and artificial intelligence, as you know very well. You wrote a book about that, and so I guess it's really not the right time.
No, we'll come back to the range. We were coming from Puravan, so most of us were meditator, of course. So you see people were working in the street, but very slow, very relaxed. There was a kind of meditation space, but in general, the energy was completely different from Puravan. There was also the Buddha hall, the place in the range we call Mandir, where from 6 o'clock in the morning, there was a dynamic meditation, and then Kundalini meditation every day. But the people we were living, we never were, very rare we went to do dynamic or Kundalini meditation because we were so busy working. At the end of the day, you are so tired that you go to sleep. So that was more for people who were coming as a tourist to see, there were many disciples coming, stay there for 2 weeks doing meditations and stay with friends and then go back in their country. So I went back to Switzerland and then I tried to go back, of course. So my starting with the ranch was all the time going inside and going outside because I was not American, of course, so I don't have a visa to stay there for all the time.
Right, there's also that problem.
Yeah. So
but I think, like you say, the energy also because the United States have a particular energy. So I wonder, why do you think Osho picked the United States? Because he could have picked another place, maybe in Europe or, after India, if he wanted to. But I don't think anything is casual with Osho. So he picked the United States, and he picked Oregon, which I know in that area, it's very particular. I don't want to say a bad word, but it's kind of more a redneck country, kind of like with farmers and, it's a little remote. I guess because he needed a big piece of land. But so can you explore more on this? Why did he pick America? Why the particular area? Or It's just casual.
It's very difficult for me and for people who are being close to him to describe what is a Buddha, because he didn't pick America. Sheila chose America, and Sheila find Oregon. It was a Sheila story. In Puna one, there were two factions, two different approach in the community. One was Sheila. Sheila wanted to bring Osho to the West because she was living in America, in the university, and she was married with the American guy. So Sheila was one of the boss who wanted to bring Osho in America. And then there was Lakshmi, the first Osho secretary, that was looking for a place in India. But she spent a lot of time looking for a big commune in India, but she could not find it. So now I tell you one thing. A Buddha is like a baby. That nobody understands this because we don't know what it means to be a baby. And just imagine a baby of 2, 3 years old. Okay, so who decide for the baby? The parents. Okay, Osho was a man with at no age. Like if you look at him, you think you are in front a man which is 400 years, 500 years old. Yeah? But in the same time was like a 2 years old baby, completely innocent. He really never say, I do this, I don't do that. He always was in a yes. Whatever life was going, he was going. So Sheila was very strong, got very strong in Pune 1 at the end, and she forced the whole community to go to America. America was Sheila's trip. And Osho never say no. If life goes there and she arrives in America and she finds a place, that means okay. Osho say, okay, I come. And if the place is in Oregon or in Pennsylvania, he doesn't care. You know, if Sheila finds a place in Pennsylvania, we go in Pennsylvania. You know, he's not a man of no, of choosing, because he has no mind anymore. So that's very difficult to understand for people.
It makes a lot of sense, actually.
Okay.
In a way, I was suspecting that maybe he kind of wanted to be in the West also to help the Western people, because he.
That was completely Sheila's trip, but
So it was not okay. So you say it's not like something premeditated to be in the
for
West.
me, because listen, I'm not Osho, so that's my interpretation and that's my projection.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Yeah.
This has to be whatever I say is my projection.
Well, it's the way you live the experience.
Reality, but it's a reality with my projection. So I don't know what Osho was thinking or doing, but that's what was clear also in the Wild Wild Country, the movie. There was a Sheila's trip. And Osho want to get something big. So if this big commune, because he wants to spread the message to the whole world, that's for sure. That's is not my projection. I say many times. I want my message to go in each nook and corner in the planet. So if it was in Africa that he can spread it and create a city, he would have gone to Africa. But it happened that Sheila took power and went to America and find a place in America. So he went to America. And America was the best place to spread the message all over the world. Because most of the Enlightenment people last century, they believe, they thought this. We go to America so everybody knows us. I'm talking about Gurdjieff. I talk about Meher Baba. I talk about Chinmaya. Many Enlightenment people went to America, and they all got burned. William Reich, because America is this two-phase. It's an incredible open mind because there is no roots in America. So the mind is not rigid. I saw that in America, you know. You meet somebody, wow, okay, man, you are immediately my brother, hey brother, and we are friends, and we build something together. But this is beautiful in America, very open mind, but in the same time, this open mind has no roots, so there is no grounding. So there is a lot of fighting after some time, you know. So
Makes sense.
Osho I'm sure he was happy to be there to rest his body. He didn't talk for almost 3 years. And the weather suits him. He was better with his pain. He was better with his allergy. So he was happy on the place until everything got upset. And you see that in the Netflix movie.
So yeah, so tell us about a little bit more about Sheila, the movie Wild Country. What do you think about the movie?
I think the
What do
movie,
you know more about Sheila? Do you know a lot about Sheila? I mean, a lot of people talk about her, but it's never really clear what went on. I mean, there's many different versions. So
well, I think the Netflix did a great job. And these two guys, I think they are two brothers, the movie directors. They did a very good job of research as a documentary, very precise. Many things on this movie I didn't know. Because we were working there. If we were not in the circle of Sheila, you know, let's say we were 2,000 people there, and around Sheila there were maybe 50 people, I don't know, something like that. Okay, so if you are not part of this Sheila circle, you don't know what we didn't know what they were doing. You know, we knew that there were a lot of money coming as a donation, and we were building a big city, huge city. I mean, I think in the first 2 years she did a great job, but then she started to get too much into fight against the American government. The lawyer department got very big. There were so many lawyers and a lot of suits in the court, and the whole thing got I never liked all this.
really out of hand. Yeah.
Yes, I think Sheila was great. She did a good job, but to build in order to build the city. But after a couple of years, she she really thought we're gonna conquer America, something like that. So,
Well, power corrupts. There's no way around it. So she,
yeah, that we're gonna fight the U.S. government, and
right.
you know, and then when she started to use gangs and to protect Osho, and at that point I really didn't like that.
Yeah.
But many of us were like this, and many people didn't know what they were doing. Uh, I thought there were just two people with the gangs protecting Osho, but on the movie I saw there was like a military system, which I don't know. I didn't know. I was the second time I cooked, they put me I came back and then they put me in cooking in the kitchen. And so I knew that I had to cook from 5 o'clock in the morning, you know,
You
cooking.
were slicing tomatoes all day. You didn't have time to see what was going on out there.
No, I was just rumors coming. You know, the kitchen was very far away. The people were coming with buses to eat lunch and dinner. Uh, you can smell, you can sense that the energy was changing after 2 years. But I didn't know what was going to happen. So the ranch for me is not something that it's in my heart. It's my heart. It's India, the first commune and the last commune.
Okay.
So,
But I'm sure that you have some experience there. So could you just list the very best experience you had at the ranch and the very worst one? I mean, or something that you really remember that was really beautiful and
it was
something
very
that was really...
beautiful. First, this living in the desert in the middle of nothing. And one time I was doing a dynamic meditation, and I really became the American Indian. I started, and I really
That's so
felt
cool.
like I was an American Indian. I was an American Indian. You know, there was a place for Indians, and it was a very strong experience to be with nature, with such a strong nature. You know, this I like it very much. There were wild animals. They start to come back. Many birds they start to come. We plant thousands of trees. We make 2 lakes. I mean, we did amazing thing. I don't know how we did it. It's amazing thing. We did a big airport with private airplane. We had 5 or 6 airplanes. We had our own police, our own post office. The mayor, at a certain point, we had also mayor. It was
So
building
yeah,
fast.
the airport really blows me away because I mean everything can be built, but an airport. So I guess you had also serious engineers and then pilots. So you were recruiting people. So they were all sannyasing, or they were people?
Yeah, also Nancy, also Osho disciple. You know, Osho attract very intelligent people like me.
Educated. Yeah, yeah, of course.
Well, really, Osho attract most of people with PhD and scientists. Most of us were with PhD. So there was a crew of engineers building machines like a robot. We are talking about 1980, that they were building platform for the tanks. There were this kind of robot that a German engineer built. And there was a very smart people there, very smart people, very nice people, very smart, intelligent. I mean, you cannot build a city in 3 years. I mean, with such a short
Of course.
time.
That's so cool.
That's the
And
beautiful.
tell us about, yeah, so Osho, he didn't speak for a number of years.
Almost 3
2
years.
years. 2 years. And then he started to come out, and you know, it's very famous, his rounds that he was doing every day with the Rolls-Royce, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about these Rolls-Royces, because I always been really curious about it. There's a lot of criticism on it because, you know, say, oh, he's a guru with the Rolls-Royce. He was so corrupted. So,
yeah.
You know.
So maybe to let you understand more, when in Pune in the first commune, we were in India, right? In India, the sex energy is being all the time repressed. Only in the time of the tantric tradition, which was in the north of India, sex was natural and it was beautiful, and they also used sex to grow spiritually. But that was 2000, 3000 years before. The last 1000 years, India has been repressive. Hinduists are very repressive with sex. Also Jainist and also Muslim. That's the 3 religions in India. Hinduist is the majority, then Jainist and Muslims. And they all repress energy. Woman it's always been repressed in India. Just now it's coming out. After Osho left the body, India changed completely in 2000, the last 20, 25 years. So Osho was in the country which was repressing energy since centuries. And how they call Osho? They call, at the time, Bhagwan. They call Bhagwan the sex guru.
Right.
That was all over the Indian newspaper and the international newspaper. Osho, Bhagwan the sex guru. Okay. The second commune was in America. what is in America? What is the main topic for America? To make money, to have success. Okay, that's the main thing. Yes, we can. Okay, yes, we can. You can become out of nothing, being just a porter or be I don't know, a carpenter. You become president of America. Okay, yes, we can. Money. So Osho became the guru of Rolls-Royce. He knew that, of course. So he started to play with that. And when they give him one Rolls-Royce as a present, then he told Shiran, I want two more Rolls-Royce. And then he said, no, let's have 4 or 5 more Rolls-Royce. and, and he knew because that through the Rolls-Royce, all the American newspaper came to the church. All. Every day they were coming normal journalists from all the newspaper in America and in Europe. We want to interview the Guru of Rolls-Royce. And he started to get known in the world. So Osho never had any moral condition. You know, he was totally free. And he liked to use any kind of tools to let this message go through. So the Rolls-Royce was the tools, the device that he used so that the whole world was talking about him because he ended up to have 90, I think 99 Rolls-Royce. Yeah, I think 99. But he used to have a drive. And one day, I think after 2 years or so, he came out with a Rolls Royce. In the Rolls Royce, there was his girlfriend, let's say, okay, his partner. And a guy was there with some kind of tabla or music instrument, and he liked it. He stopped and he started to give energy to this small group of people. And then what happened? That the day after, there were many more people with guitar and flute. And the queue every day was longer and longer and longer until it became the drive-by. The drive-by was the only moment we could see Osho. He was coming out of his house, and then there was a long queue for kilometers, for miles. Because
Right.
for miles, there were people, and most of the people that were with the guitar or with flowers, and he was stopping here and there and put down the window and give energy to people or give present. You can see in some movie, give a hat to a kid, they give a teddy bear.
Yeah,
And
there's a lot of images of that and footage of,
that was the
yeah,
only
still.
moment we could see Osho.
So that was for the entire time. So you said the first 2 years he didn't really show up. Then he shows up with a Rolls Royce, and then was there ever a time where you guys sat with him and or he did like a speech or something?
At the end. I mean,
So yeah, so how did they go end up? Yeah.
my timing can be wrong. I don't remember if it was 2 years, 1.5 years, or 3 years, and then that he started a Rolls Royce, the drive-by. But so don't take me precise. Okay, if somebody listens, say, oh no, wasn't. So more or less. He started talking to us in the Mandir, in the Buddha Hall. First, when he realized that there was something wrong, he started to come out and to talk in Sheila's trailer. So it was a very private discourses with 50, 30, 40 people. And he started to talk again. Because he knew that if he start to talk again, then all energy goes towards him, not towards Sheila. You understand? If he was in silence, the whole energy was going towards Sheila, who was for us was the boss, was the one that was telling us what to do. But if he start talking again, the energy shift towards him again. So he started to give a discourse in Jesus Grove, which is the place where Sheila and their gang, let's say, where they were living. And the whole thing started to get a little bit shaky at that point. And he started to have an interview with the journalist. And he started to talk with the journalist. They are very nice interview. I think this series is called the Bible Rajneesh, or the Rajneesh Bible. It's a very intense discourse where Osho destroys all the past religions and traditions. And it starts to roar as a lion. That's what he was. He was a lion. And then he came back to talk on the Mandir only at the end, when the whole thing got fucked up with Sheila. You know. In 85, I think, I don't remember when, maybe May, June, I don't remember. Then Sheila left, escaped, and then Osho came to talk in Rajneesh Mandir. But otherwise, the first year we never saw him, just we were working, then for a couple of years we saw him on the drive-by, and that was it.
That's so interesting. And so I imagine also the people that were living there in the part of the country, they were not really happy. I mean, we saw it in the movie, but did you have any experience with the locals? Like,
Again, I can tell you what I was living. I was living in a faraway valley, cooking.
right.
The first time building toilets, and the second time.
So you never really left outside. You didn't go see the cities outside, or you didn't meet anybody outside. Nothing.
Antelope or anywhere, you know. We were doing our work. Just the people were lawyers or guards or working with Sheila, they were contacting the outside world. Okay.
Right.
So there was a press department, Sunshine. You can see in the movie Sunshine, a beautiful lady, and she was talking most of the time with journalists, and you know there was a team of people taking care of the outside work. But the majority of us,
Right.
we were doing our work, our job, and we were happy to be there. And who cares about the outside work?
Right. So, and then what happened? Then, you know, most of us know that it didn't really end up very well for Osho. So what was the next?
The next step was, I think the biggest mistake was to call people from all over the country to invite them to the, you know, they call obos or street people, okay?
Homeless.
Yeah, homeless. Go around the country collecting homeless people and bring them to the range in order to have a certain number of votes so that we can win the. And I think that was the biggest mistake of Sheila or whatever decide that. Because from that point, the thing really collapsed because 1,000 people arrived. And these people, they were not sannyasi, they were not Osho disciple, they were not meditating, they were not free with sex, you know, they were like us. I mean, we were hugging each other freely. We were very free with us. We knew from Punawan that we were mostly friends. And the women were walking in the night alone in the middle of the desert. And there was no need of any protection. You know, what was there was love, really friendship, a lot of friendship. And these people arrive in this paradise, and they see all these beautiful women, and they went crazy, and they start to drink beer. And so at the end, there was a big mess. So it was not nice what we did. And you go and take the homeless from Chicago, you bring them, and then after 1 year you throw them out again. You know. I didn't like this. You know, that was such unfair thing. You know. And then the whole thing started, that the poisoning of the water. Again, I didn't know anything, so I was cooking.
Right. You learned later that
I knew this.
you were recreating like a puzzle. It's like a puzzle. You're gonna put all your pieces together and then
Yeah,
see.
most of the thing I knew from Wild Wild Country, because
Wow,
I
that's so
didn't know.
interesting. So, and then yeah, I guess also the American government was really upset about all these experiments because
Well, this
once,
of course was a thorns, you know, for the American government to see these people happy building a city. They have their own mayor, their own police force, their own bank. We have the bank, Rajneesh Bank. We have Rajneesh Post Office. I mean, it was big, fucking really big, man. And and we were getting stronger and stronger and bigger and more people coming from all over the world. So you know, America, as I said before, has a very open mind, but this open mind has a very rigid limits. You
well,
cannot
then
go.
there's the people and the government. They're very different things many times.
Yeah, yeah, the government has a very
Yeah,
rigid
yeah.
limits. All the commune, they don't like much, you know, because all these alternative uh, small or big community that they grow in America since the beginning. The power, American power doesn't like. So when they saw that Rancho Rajneesh was getting very dangerous, of course, at the end we thought that something bad was going to happen, but actually I had to say that with us when they arrived in 85, because then Osho started to talk in the Buddha hall, and he asked the police to go and arrest Sheila. You know, he got very fiery, and he denounced Sheila and, with a big press conference. Uh, Journalists from all over the world, and he said that we were living in a fascist regime. And he hit us very strong because he said, "You never doubt Sheila. You know, when you become more conscious. The awareness grows with doubt. So if you don't have doubt, you cannot grow. You had to doubt everything, but you never doubt Sheila. Actually, many of us we doubt Sheila, but we didn't know what to do. Look, I had doubt, but what to do? Yeah. As soon as you say something, they threw out of the commune. So it was not.
Yeah, that's something really interesting. And I think that was a purpose for it. So maybe there's something that he gave so much power to just one person and a female. And I always think it was kind of an exercise to see how everything developed. That's my idea. Like,
Yeah, I know Osho was working at a different level.
yeah, there were so many different levels. And yeah, you said, I read your book. And in the book, I read many of your books, but in one of the books, you say that the different communes have different purposes. And they also go as our awareness goes. So in the person, the communes were going. I mean, you said a little bit already, but maybe you could explain again. So India was more about the lower chakras, and then it goes up.
Yeah, yeah. In the Pura one, Osho worked in our sexual energy and our primary energy, which is because we are Catholic in Italy, in Europe, and we also, like Hinduists, had the repressed energy. I remember when I was younger and I was a naked woman. My mother and my sister, they were closing the toilet to dress up, you know. So to see a breast was like, wow. You know. It was amazing because we had such a strong repression, you know. And in Pune 1, one of the things I remember most is in the beginning, I went to take a shower. There was a big, huge room where there were from one side toilet and on the other side showers. And there was no tent, there was no separation, nothing. So we were men and women shitting together, and the other side they were taking a shower. And as a Catholic and growing in a Catholic country, there was a and that's what Osho did in Pune 1, actually losing up all this condition in the sexual energy in the body, you know, just feel your body, you know. The body is a beautiful, it's divine thing, it's just be relaxed and innocent. And in Pune, that was in Pune 1, in the range, he worked on the third chakra, in the power chakra. I mean, he showed to the woman, all the women in the world, that they also fucked up with power. It's not just the men. Men fucked up with power since century. I mean, because the mind of man is so stupid in a way. You know, it just fight. But woman, which is a beautiful being, but also when it's the power, it fucks up also. You know, so we fight against the U.S. government. You know, that was all third chakra work. He worked, you know, he showed us what power can do. And even if it's in the hands of women, which he trusts all the time until the end. Also in the last community, he gave everything to women, always to women. Osho completely trust. He was the first Buddha who trusts women completely. Even if they behave badly with it, but until the end, he trusts women. So the second, the range was a power-oriented commune. Okay, we are the one, we are the best. We fight against the government, and you are a piece of shit. We have the truth, and you don't have the truth. Okay, that's basically what it was. You know, the last commune for me was the most beautiful commune. Very few people talk. I mean, we're going to do one podcast about the last commune because it's very beautiful. Was the heart chakra. Osho said this is not a commune anymore. This is a temple. People come here, meditate, see the master, and they go back. This is a temple, and there was so much love. And the last commune was so beautiful. There was, because we went through the trip of the range, this struggle, power struggle, you know, and we all become somehow more soft. I can see in Pune 2, we were very soft. Many people disappear. This I have to tell you. The range, Osho say in 1986, when he came back after 8 months of being in the airplane, he came back to Bombay and he started to talk again. It was August 86. And the first discourse to say, now I have my people. I was like a fisherman who throws a big net to catch all kind of fish. Now I got rid of useless fish. Now I have my people. Now I have my disciple. Because this disciple, which are here with me now, they are connected only with the heart. They love me. They don't care about anything else. And that's what it was for me. I love him. If we go to the moon, I go to the moon, but not because I want to build something in the moon, because I love him. That's all. The relationship with the master is love. So the last commune, the third commune was really much of the love. The last three chakra, fifth, sixth, and seventh chakra, it's an individual work. Each of us has to work on this chakra. The master cannot do anything there. It's individual work. And I am sure when, because I have experienced that when I have a difficult moment, Osho comes. It's still working. It didn't finish the work. society never really gets rid of Osho. Osho is getting bigger and bigger and stronger and stronger. People don't.
Right. So this would be like the commune, the present commune is our individual commune. So, because after all the experiences in this India, United States, and India again, now we're on our own, ideally, but we're all together.
Yes,
working on ourselves.
and it's not necessary that you need to be Osho disciple. You know,
Right.
it's not important anymore. It's not
Exactly.
important to wear mala. It's not important to wear clothes. It's not important to be Osho disciple. It's important that your heart is connected with a certain spiritual energy which goes towards love and with innocence, to be happy, to celebrate life. Everybody who is in this vibe, it's with Osho, it's with Buddha, it's with Jesus, doesn't matter. You know, we all are a huge community of people which we don't know each other, but Osho say one day, if you meet another sannyasi, you look in their eyes and you know that he is a sannyasi. You know, you don't need to know that there's a mal or anything. And I meet so many people which are not connected with, they're not Osho disciple, but beautiful people. Who cares? It doesn't really matter to be so rigid anymore. You know?
Right.
And the third commune was very beautiful, but the range will end up in a very big.
So yeah, tell us, how did he end up? It's so sad that I don't know if we want to talk about it, but maybe something that, I mean, we know that then Osho went through a lot of problems, and he ended up in the airplane, and ended up in jail, and then you have so much going on. So I don't know if you want to talk about it, or it's so sad.
I talk about from my point of view, so it's more.
Yeah, so tell us, how did you live all that? Because I mean, we kind of know what happened in a way or another, but you were there. So even if you were in the kitchen, you were there. So
yeah, I told you I was cooking in Magdalena. So and they threw me. I think 3 times they kicked me out of the ranch. Finally, at the end, in '85, I come back and I had money. I had everything necessary to be there. And one day they called me in the office. So I take my bicycle. I bought a bicycle, mountain bike, and the office was like 5 miles or 7 miles away from the kitchen. Everything was so big. So I arrived in this office full of people, very busy, the telephone. And they say, go to look and talk to this woman. You know? So I went to talk to this woman. I don't remember who she was. And she said, hi, Azima, hi. You are here since a long time, and you are accepted now as a resident, official resident. Wow.
You're like, wow, finally.
Well, after 5 years, they used to give you a bead, like a gold, it was not gold, but it was like a brass bead that says that you are officially a resident of Rajneeshpuram, okay? So after 5 years of, suffering, going out, in, out, making money, give money, I think for me was very, I grew up in a certain way, so much, because I had to face a very difficult period of my life, I had to do all this document to be resident. I had to do my drive license again, American drive license, and all this word stuff, which I don't like. Anyway, they called me, I'm happy, I am resident. At the same moment, that's amazing, really, I tell you. In the same moment, there is a big sound, an alarm system, which we knew that when there was this alarm, like a fireplace, something big is happening. So we all came out of this office. What happened? What happened? What happened? and he said, let's go downtown. So I took a bike, and we all go with the bike and the cars and running towards downtown. What happened? What happened? Osho is leaving. Wow, holy shit. Then they just give me the resident bit. Osho is leaving. So we all go to the airport.
Wow.
And we were about maybe 100, 130 people. We managed to arrive in time. And after a few minutes, we see Osho Rolls-Royce. And he arrived, and there was an airplane, and he left. But the scene was beautiful because we were singing. It doesn't matter what, oh la la. Are you still there? You still there?
Yes, you got locked for a moment.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
They say the internet is not steady. Okay.
It works now. Yeah, the internet is always a
Oh, so we were celebrating that he was leaving because we were celebrating everything. So, and I was there in the first row singing "We Love You, Osho," Bhagwan at the time, and it was so beautiful. You know, there's so much love, and I was like 3 meters from him, and he was so sweet and went up on the stair to the airplane, and he was giving energy to us with such big smile, and he was always the same. Even when they put him in jail and with the chain, he was still beautiful and give love to everybody. And we didn't know what's going to happen, so he flew, and we were left without the master. And from that moment, police arrived, FBI, CIA, helicopter, military car. I mean, it was a kind of very big, messy. There were investigators all over the office or department. And then we were watching the news on the Rajneesh Mandir in the night, in the television. And we saw Joel Osho arrested in jail. I was crying like everybody else. To see him dressed as a jailer, it was quite a shock. To see an emperor in jail with the chain was very shock. And
there was no crime. That's what most people don't understand. There was never a crime, because Sheila was kind of iffy, you know, but there was not really any crime that he did.
No, they arrested him in Charlotte, and I think 11 gangs against him or something like this, surrounded by gangs, and they put chain in the cuffed hands and feet without arrest warrant.
Right, because what are the accusations? I mean, what's the accusations? It's not really clear. Yeah.
They didn't want that he get escaped from America. They had to destroy the commune. They had to destroy him.
Right.
And in a way, it was we were lucky. I think we were protected from him, from existence, that they didn't kill us, because they couldn't do anything. I mean, in the ranch, they arrived from the sky, from the earth, from all over. They arrived police. They couldn't do anything to us. So he was arrested. He was in jail, and the jail was very small. So the lawyers say if he gets present, as a law, American law, they have to give the present the package in his jail. So what we did is we sent flowers. I mean, sannyasi, we were very crazy. Osho was very crazy. We sent flowers from all over the world to the jail. So they had to put all these flowers in his jail. There was no space for him to stay. There was full of flowers. So they had to move him from the jail, and they give him a bigger room in the medical room.
Also, because he was allergic to smells, so
Yeah,
all these
yeah.
flowers, I don't know if we're gonna.
So they put him immediately in the big room, very much more comfortable. He got friendly with the doctor, and the doctor was very sweet with him. Anyway, after 2 weeks, they decide he has to go on the court case in Portland because the trip was in Portland, right? The Oregon. So there is a 3-hour flight, I think, from Charlotte, Caroline, North Carolina to Portland. Just 2.5, 3 hours fly was there. No, no, that's where the the mind of power, the power is so tricky. He disappeared for weeks. They put it in the car, then in the bus, then they put it in one jail, they put it in another jail, then with a small airplane, they disappear. You see in Wild Country, they made him suffer a lot. Such a fragile human being. As I told you before, he was like an innocent baby. And his body was very fragile. If you were close to Osho, the sensation was like you can pass through his body. Like his body was like a gas, like a cloud. You can pass through the. He was so inconsistent, non-material. It was amazing. I don't know how to say. It's such a fragile being that they put him in such a horrible condition. And when he arrived in Portugal 2 weeks later, he was completely sick and weak and very, very, very in bad shape. And it looks like they poison in one of these jails. This is it's better you go and see Wild Country to have the detail.
But there's a speech that Osho did that he said at the end that he was
Yeah,
poisoned, right?
Yeah, he said that.
I mean, because there's a lot of speculation. People say it's true, it's not true. He was poisoned, he was not poisoned. Some sannyasis kill him. Some people say that. I mean, there's different theories about how did he die, what was the real cause of his death.
Well, I
But
can
in
tell
the
you
speech, it's pretty clear, and he said, yeah.
I can tell you as a doctor, it's not just an idea. When on the last commune, I was not cooking anymore. I was in charge of the medical center, and then I was in charge of eating arts. And we treat Osho with many different systems. He undergo 2 surgery. He was poisoned by, we did a test, we sent his blood to London, and everybody confirmed that he was poisoned by heavy metals, like thallium or something like this, plutonium or something. So the bones, they start to get infected in the face, in the shoulder, in the arms. I was there as a doctor. I can tell you his body was poisoned. I don't know how they poisoned, when they poisoned. He said in the prison where they changed the cushion, and that's in the middle of the night and say, you use this cushion. So it looks like inside there was some radioactive substance. But the fact that he was poisoned, I don't know how they did it, but he was poisoned. And
that sounds like a classic end for many masters. I think also they say that also Yogananda was poisoned at some point. There's some theories about that. And it's something that happens a lot. I mean, for many important people, yeah. I mean, it's a classic way.
They still do, you see the guy in Russia, which was against Putin. And that's how the power is. If you go against it, either they kill you or they poison you, or whatever they do.
Right.
Anyway, Osho, that's how the ranch ended up. I stayed there until the end, until December, until end of December. It was New Year when I left. We were just few people, maybe 150 people, 100 people. I stayed there to help friends to close all the department. We sold all the track and all the things we built. The Rolls-Royce later on were sold also. So I stayed until December. It was a snow. It was a very, very, very strange because it was very cold and there was a snow and the roads, they were full of police. There were police everywhere. And we were afraid that they were gonna, because we were very few left, maybe 100 people, 120. So we were scared that they're gonna arrest us. So me and another four friends, three Americans and one German and me, we escaped in the middle of the night, like a thief. We reached the garage where there was this Volkswagen van, yellow Volkswagen van, the old one from the freak time.
Yes, the
And,
70s type, 80s type.
Yeah. So we all went inside. We drove very slow, not to make noise. Finally, we managed to go away, but it was the end of everything for us. I mean, the ranch was the story is over.
I can't even imagine how you were feeling in that moment. You remember, was kind of feeling like just
what he said. So like
sad, but thinking that you would go back to, I mean, then you ended up in India again for another time. But in the moment you were kind of expecting that would be like a or you would think that was the end.
We thought it was over. But I was sent mostly for Osho. We were concerned about him.
Yeah.
And we were sure that was the end of the story. And that's why I come back to Italy and I start to be a doctor again in Tuscany. I opened a small medical office and I started to work as a doctor because we thought it was a finish, but was not the end. So the ranch it's a strange period of Osho's work, but we had to remember that through the American experience, Osho ended up in all the newspaper in the world. Everybody was talking about him. The Guru of Rolls-Royce, the Rancho Rajneesh, the Guru was poisoned. Everybody was, and they are still talking about him. There are many more movies coming. Soon there will be many movies about Osho coming. The Netflix was the first, but there will be many more. There is one Indian movie, very nice, which came out last year. Now there will be more. There will be more.
And then there's your movie that we can share the news. It's in the finals. Can you say that?
Yeah. They made a movie about Azima, which is called My Life with Osho. A story from Ustica. That's where I live in summer.
Let's say for some people that don't know, Ustica is a small island close in the north of Sicily in Italy, right? The north part, yeah.
Yeah, the production, the movie director came there and they interviewed me and Atit also. And they made this movie, which is going very well. In Moscow, I was in the final. And also in Miami Festival, in London Festival, in Mumbai Festival. So the people like.
Yeah, I saw the premiere. It's really beautiful. I love all that. It's very also psychological. They show images of natures, images of you with no words. It's very meditative. As you watch the movie, you're also meditating. It's
the guy who made the movie is a Gurdjieff follower. So
I can tell.
He knows what is meditation.
So I hope it comes out soon for everybody because you did the premiere, then you went to the festivals, and then I hope that.
Yeah, but after summer, people can buy in the internet, or if he wins in different festival, then it's possible that a bigger distribution, Amazon or Netflix, get it, take it.
I hope so, because I want a copy. I want to see it many times. Cool. So there's anything else you want to tell us about the ranch or anything in general?
Well, I think 1 hour talking about the ranch is enough.
Yeah, we talked a lot. But so anything final? Just
well, the final thing is that everything, even if it looks bad, with Osho energy, it turned positive. So the ranch, in a way, was a bad experience, but Netflix made a movie which is quite heavy, but they didn't expect that they had such a big success. the series Wild Wild Country had such a huge resonance that
yes.
also got to know more and more from people. So that's how Osho energy is.
Yeah, multiplies exponentially.
transforms energy,
Yes.
positive energy.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. So I'm looking forward to next episode, because you're going to talk about the third commune. So
Yes.
Yeah.
The third series, we're going to talk on the last commune of Osho.
The last commune.
And
Okay.
okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. Be well. Namaste.
Next time I will not be with a hat, because we talk about
No more John Wayne.
no more okay. Bye.
Namaste.
Namaste.